Good evening. I'm Isaiah Jones, and for my project, I have created a sanctuary titled The Sanctuary of Passage. This project goes into depth detail about my design. Hello, good evening. I'm Isaiah Jones, and for my project, I have created a sanctuary titled The Sanctuary of Passage. This project goes into depth detail about my design, its iterations, and the design process that created my Sanctuary of Passage. The concept word that I used to influence all of my iterations for my project was Regenesis. The Temple of Regenesis is a monumental sanctuary where earth, nature, and light converge to honor the deceased and celebrate the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Through stone, wood, and steel, the architecture becomes a universal spiritual language rooted in the nature and open to all faiths. My sanctuary site and schematic design analysis. The strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, as well as the threats, are all listed onto this page. The strengths have an open space in nature and the stillness in the woods that supports the site's purpose to be used for meditation, mourning, and a life cycle. The weakness is the pests, of course, in the nature and the natural corruption of environment due to natural causes. Opportunities that can be listed in the sanctuary is a cultural interest in spiritual spaces, nature and integrated design, high foot traffic and potential city development support. The threats is, of course, the wildlife, as well as flooding, nature corrosion, and the decay of natural materials due to weather, like the wood that is used for the sanctuary. With my beginning iterations, my design evolved from basic abstract geometry to a more complex, spiraling, symbolic architecture that physically manifests spiritual transformation. Each iteration refined the relationship between form, water, and light until the sanctuary becomes a living symbol of rebirth and unity. After several iterations, my sanctuary is no longer just a structure, it is a spatial ritual. It captures the essence of a sanctuary by unifying form, function, symbolism, and sight into a coherent experience of life, death, and rebirth. Every iteration built towards this monument of clarity, a place where architecture becomes spirit. Here you can see my public sanctuary's exterior and interior, as well as the back of the sanctuary. Here you can find the private sanctuary, as well as the private sanctuary's interior. With my monument, the three bodies of water, life, death, and rebirth, form a continuous spiritual cycle that honors those who came before. Each pond acts as a living memorial, life representing the vibrant energy and legacy of the individuals who once walked the campus. Death acknowledges their passing, the stillness of water mirroring the silence and remembrance. Rebirth symbolizes healing and continuation, the campus and the community rising to recognize and preserve their stories. The water's reflective surface invites viewers to see themselves within history, turning memory into participation. As light moves across the ponds, it transforms the space into a sacred landscape, a place where unmarked graves are no longer invisible, but revered through nature's eternal cycle. This design becomes a spatial and spiritual act of reclamation, uniting architecture, memory, and healing in Purview's continuing story. Precedent sanctuaries that I use as inspiration to create my sanctuaries are the Baha'i Temple of South America, as well as the Church Mountain of Julong and the Lotus Temple in Delhi, India. These sanctuaries each played a large key role in my building design, such as the glasswork in the threshold inspired from the Baha'i Temple, or the open glass frame and linear pattern of glass on the face of the sanctuary inspired from the mountain church of Julong. My sanctuary's elevations and sections show how form, light, and symbolism merge to create a space that is both physically and spiritual, a place where transformation and rebirth takes place. The elevations highlight the dynamic roof geometry, which rises sharply to symbolize ascension and transcendence, a visual metaphor for spiritual awakening as well. The sectional cuts reveal how the interior volume unfolds and compress entry spaces to expansive sacred chambers. My sanctuary's floor plan, it lists in the keys, 1, the public sanctuary's foyer, 2, the public sanctuary's private reflection hall, 3, the men's and the women's public restrooms, 4, the public sanctuary's prayer pit, 5, open balcony space, 6, the courtyard, 7, private sanctuary, 8, private sanctuary's private restroom as well. Lighting, color palette, and the material work together to create a calm, sacred, and transformational environment. Indirect lighting softens the emotional tone, neutral colors unify the architecture with the water, and smooth, reflective material reinforce the symbolism of life, death, and rebirth. Light texture adds warmth and human presence, strengthening the spiritual atmosphere of the design. This slide demonstrates how my design is both structurally ordered and symbolically charged. The exploded anomaxic metric reveals the sanctuary's inner logic, a radial, centralized organization rooted in a strong datum, where architecture becomes a spiritual framework for transformation. These are the parties that fueled my design. Originating from the Memorials and Monuments Project, where we use qualitative and quantitative words that influence our parties, these parties have impacted my design, such as the words ebullient and this party because of the organizing principle and shape. Here you can find the video of the walkthrough of my sanctuary. Thank you for listening and watching.